final score at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 2, Watford 0.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Yes, Leicester moved 10 clear of third, 3 clear of second at the top of the table, and they are back to winning ways, thanks to number 9, Jamie Vardy. David Nugent and Jerry Taggart are with me. Matt will still be with us as we talk through that victory, which in the end was relatively comfortable, Nuge.
Yeah, in the second half, it was a lot more impetus in the way Leicester were going forward with the ball. They were moving the ball faster. It's like Enzo heard what we said at half-time, and Jerry, about moving the ball quicker, getting into wider areas, a lot quicker on the pitch and letting them do their thing. And for most of the second half, it looked like it was going to carry on with Leicester, giving a lot of chances away, couldn't score and missing chances. But in the end, he got the goals through Vards coming on, whose record against Watford is sensational, and he wins the game again.
Yeah, when you have Jamie Vardy on the bench, and this is to take nothing away from Kelechi, but when the game speeds up, which Leicester did do in the second half, they sped the game up. The decision making was quicker. The passing was crisper. They got in behind Watford a lot more often. Perfect foil for that is Jamie Vardy. Mavididi was getting to the line and whipping balls in with his left foot instead of coming back outside on his right, or doing his little step overs. It was more direct. So overall, the football was more direct. There was a bit more impetus to it, and in the end, those are the results you see for upping the tempo and putting a little bit of extra spice into your game.
It was like Enzo made the changes early because he knew how quicker the game was. Started in the second half, so it was 8 minutes in the second half. He'd made the changes. That's early for Enzo to make subs, and obviously it's worked out for him bringing Vards on. Even though he missed a couple of chances, he still scored 2 to win the game.
Well, yeah, if he took the same amount of time to get the goal and he'd come on with 60, he probably would have missed the 2 chances and not got those chances, had he? But yeah, great record, as you rightly pointed out, against Watford at home, and there was no doubt, was there, that if he got one more chance after the few that he missed, that he would take it, and then the penalty again, no doubt. Yeah,
obviously the first one, obviously he's been cut back and he's just over the crossbar. He couldn't get out of his feet or couldn't get enough space to get the shot off. Scarred a little. It was the second one. We said it watching it, Jerry. He's tried to lace it. If he just controls it a little bit more with his side foot and just passes it into the net, he probably scores. But he just wants to leave it into the back of the net and try and get Leicester, 1-0 up. But then obviously the third one, Vestergaard probably should have scored himself with the header. Keeper made a great save, and then Vards, the poacher, as he is, stood him on into the bottom corner to put Leicester into the lead, and then didn't look back after that. It was all Leicester.
You sort of knew after the chance he made where he's tried to lace it from 6 yards. Because his reaction where he's given himself a dig in the face basically, and he knew he should have buried that. He doesn't need me and Dave sitting here, but if he gets another chance, it's going in the back of the net. You just know that with Jamie Vardy. He's done it far too often, for far too long, and rightly so. He got what he deserved today. He deserved to go, because it's all about, in those situations, with the goal that he actually scored, he's in the right place at the right time, and he's there to stab at home, under pressure.
Yeah, and Matt, you're still with us in the press box here at King Power Stadium, and Leicester back to what they've done so well at the start of the season, well, throughout the whole season, really, barring the last 2 games, which was finishing games really well. The 76th minute, it was Jamie Vardy's first goal today.
Yeah, I think, in fairness, they've done that the vast majority of the season, haven't they, in their games. The longer it's gone on, they've been patient and slowly sort of impressed themselves on the opposition. They don't blow teams away too early or too often. Southampton was a bit of a one-off, but other than that, it's almost, I've heard people describing it as death by 1,000 cuts or whatever. Probably a bit of an exaggeration, but I get the gist of that terminology, really. But they the boys have mentioned it there. I was interested to see how they would approach the second half. Against Leeds, they didn't really get firing, did they, at all? And there's partly credit to Leeds. Also, it didn't happen for Leicester that night. And Middlesbrough, in that game, okay, I think things went against them eventually, but without looking too dynamic going forward. Leicester, the longer the game went on there, the better Leicester looked. And it was sort of against the run of play, really, that they conceded. There was no coming back. But today, they were at it. They steadily progressed throughout the game, really. The intensity of their play, the speed, as the boys have mentioned there, and sort of dynamism out there. And is it an intentional ploy to, to sort of ease your way through the 90+ minutes and to keep playing at a better standard as you go on? Or, I don't know, does it just happen that way? But certainly, like any team, when you play with a greater fire, intensity and a speed and tempo and all those words, you look a better side. It's more difficult for the opposition to deal with. And that was the case today. Eventually, Leicester overpowered. It was chance after chance after chance, and something was going to give, and it did. And 2-0. That does Watford a little bit of a favour, probably, overall. But at half-time, or 10 minutes before half-time, you're thinking this is in the balance. But they grind teams down in an unusual way. It's just in a methodical, systematic approach, don't they? But it was better to watch in the second half. Better to watch. So surely everyone enjoyed that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it? That it not more entertaining, that's the wrong term, because Leicester, the whole game, they obviously had the game plan, didn't they? And they knew how they were going to beat Watford, and that's what they did. But there seemed to be a bit more impetus in that second half.
Yeah, Leicester conserved their energy by keeping the ball. It's very hard for Watford to keep 100% concentrated for the whole 90 minutes, knowing that they're not going to have the ball. So Leicester keeping the ball is conserving their energy for these last 10-15 minutes where they can keep going for the whole 90 minutes. And it shows the stats like the last 15 minutes. Leicester do score a lot of goals because the teams are drained of just being so concentrated on the pitch for 90 minutes that they can't keep it up. And it shows just the pace of the game towards the end is just too quick for opposition teams, because it seems to happen most games at home.
Yeah, it obviously helps when you're winning games and you're keeping the ball, because teams obviously have to try and come out and put you under pressure, which is what we've seen, in the last 10 minutes or so here. And because they're drained, it doesn't work as well as it would have done in the first 10 minutes of a game, because they're drained. And obviously then, if you're clever and you're cute, you pick your passes off, gaps appear all around the pitch, because, your two banks of four or whatever, your back line and your midfield line, the gaps between them become bigger, and so you're given more opportunities. And again, you've seen with the ball forward, they're right in their feet there, Watford trying to stop Jimmy Vardy going through on goal.
And you can see how much space opens when the first goal goes in. It's so vital for Leicester when they get the first goal, because teams then have to come out and try and change the game plan. And you just seen how many chances he created in the last 10-15 minutes there when they were 1-0 up. Watford are trying to push forward, trying to create chances themselves, just leaves more space for Leicester players to get forward and create more chances for Leicester. So the first goal is vital at the King Power.
Plays in their hands. And I think the frustration is when you watch Leicester in the first half compared to the second half is, if they play that style of football in the first 15-20 minutes, half an hour, you'd fancy them to go 1-0 up or even more in the first half. And then the second half becomes about conserving your energy, picking the opposition off as and when it happens, because then the opposition's half-time team talk becomes up completely different. They've got to come out, chase a game, and after 15-20 minutes, they're right on their feet.
Yeah, we said before the game, Matt, the incentive really was to say, listen, you go certainly 3 points clear of second, because Ipswich play later, tough game against West Brom. You definitely go 10 clear of third if you win, and you look at the table, the teams in third, fourth and fifth have all dropped points this weekend.
As is going to be the case ongoingly throughout the season, isn't it? We mentioned many times what this league is about and what occurs with teams in all areas of the division, but even up the top, there's inconsistency. Is an incentive? Yes, it is. I think that's always there as an insurance if you need motivation, but motivation in itself just to get yourself in the team, to go and perform well as an individual. And then, Jerry's mentioned it loads of times, these players must be reveling in the football that they're being encouraged to play. It's a player's dream, if not a supporter's absolute dream at times. You've heard the sort of little moans and groans, albeit minimal at times, but as a player, you get so many touches on the ball, the majority of the players do anyway, and it's almost total football type of style, and it's what what players dream of, and you know they're coming out. They don't need any extra incentive really. What I'd like to see is, and I'm sure it comes from the coach, the manager, Enzo Maresca, you know, instilling that confidence that not to worry about the others too much. You do what you're capable of, boys, and that's enough. That will get you to where you want to be. And you know, you can worry as much as you want looking over your shoulder about 10 points, you know, 13 points, or it used to be 14 points and it was down to 7, so you can have a little twitch there if you want. But 7 points is a healthy lead. Back up to 10 now on third spot, which is ultimately important. But listen, at the end of the day, it's what you do. If you don't think you're not good enough, then it's going to be worrying if teams are chasing you. But these boys surely know they are good enough. They have the capability to achieve their target. They've just got to maintain their standards.
Still to come here on Match Day Live. We'll continue assessing this game and talk more about that man, Jamie Vardy, the number 9, with his 2 goals. Hopefully, we'll get some reaction as well from pitch side. Obviously, on Wednesday evening, the Foxes will go again. It's up at Hillsborough to play Sheffield Wednesday. The game is available for everybody to watch on Foxes Hub on Wednesday. There is a little QR code in the bottom of your screen there. If you scan that, it'll take you exactly where you need to go. A game pass is available for only £10 to watch Enzo Maresca's Foxes hopefully get yet another victory, which will just underline really what a fantastic start to this season it has been.
Who wants to join me? Shopping at King Power. 3-day, 2-night stay booked. See ya.
To the rooftop bar.
To snap a photo for my IG.
To eat the famous pad thai.
The new collection is calling me.
Sure, there's a perfume I want. Let me ask my sis.
Yes, of course I'm going. Leicester City, Fox never quit.
Let's go. It's possible because King Power is more than just duty-free. Shop latest trends in beauty and gadgets. Your coolest staycation. The legendary pad thai, best street food in town. A place to support your team, a fancy dinner. Enjoy shopping at downtown stores and online, or even the thrill of a new experience. Explore your everyday possibilities. The power of possibilities. King Power.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top 2 players now, right?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
Jameson Black Barrel unlocks a richer taste experience from barrels charred black by fire for notes of butterscotch, toasted oak, and, ooh, moments like this.
You're built different. Breathing new life into broken. Taking matters into your own hands. Assembling big dreams from the small things. Never stopping until you find the right part at the right price. That's the eBay way.
Hello, football fans. This is a smart meter display. It helps you tackle energy usage, manage your spending, and keep you on target. Now that's a hat trick. Search Get a Smart Meter today.
Jameson Black Barrel unlocks a richer taste experience from barrels charred black by fire for notes of butterscotch, toasted oak, and, ooh, moments like this.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
Oh, to get the top 2 players now.
Right?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
Welcome back to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub, following Leicester City's 2-0 victory over Watford here at King Power Stadium. Matt Elliott was on co-commentary for the game. He's still with us in the press box. Probably still pretty cold out there, Matt, but at least during that second half you were warmed up by the Foxes.
Well, it's not getting any warmer, Batesy, that's for sure. I don't know what time we're finishing up, but much as I'm enjoying this chat, I hope it's not too far away. But yeah, listen, yeah, that was a bit more like it. I mean, at half-time, the second coat went on, and I'll be honest, I was thinking, oh, this could be a long 45+ minutes. But, you know, I should have known better, maybe, and have more faith, because, listen, Leicester have got some real quality out there. You know, and when it comes to the 4, it's pretty impressive, isn't it? And I thought that second half was probably as convincing as anything we've seen, really. Certainly, you know, approaching on par with. They totally dominated. They slowly sort of turned the screw, didn't they? And it got more and more obvious that surely sooner or later Leicester were going to make the breakthrough. And when they did, as Nude said that, you know, before, it was pretty much done and dusted. Although 1 or 2 half scares, or semi-scares even, there with West Brom. You know, I did think when he made the change with Cassidy coming on, Jude, I thought that was Leicester's most impactful player, influential player. And I thought, oh, maybe not a gamble, but it just sort of handed the initiative to Watford a touch. But Leicester got the second goal anyway, as you feared they would. But you know, all said and done, it's pretty impressive. When you read the stats out, they're coming out in front of me on the screen here, you know, 2-3 times in every department over Watford in terms of shots and passing and possession and set pieces, etc. Any way you want. So, you know, when you reflect on it, it was pretty impressive, really. And, you know, the ideal sort of tonic, dare I say, if Leicester needed that going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good job Ewan Roberts isn't here, because whenever I mention XG, he's never one to be too pleased with it. I don't think you're enamoured by it, Jerry, are you? But you listen, look, the first half, Leicester's XG was 0.43, suggesting not creating much. Second half, 2.68.
Yeah.
And that just shows the difference, really, in those 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was just I felt we said earlier, it's just the pace, the way they came out in the second half, the way they moved the ball. They were getting the ball in the final third of the pitch a lot quicker, and Watford couldn't handle it, the pace. You seen in the first half, it was just like, oh, we're going to keep the ball, but we're not going to force it. We're going to wait till the opening comes. Where in the second half, I thought they went for it a little bit more. You know, not the usual possession style. It was possession, but it was just a bit quicker in the final third. And that's all the change was. It made Watford sit back a little bit.
I think if you go back to the beginning of the game, you see Fass and Vestergaard, they're literally standing with the ball at their feet, no pressure, and looking for the little wall pass or the little, you know, the lone pass. And they'll be standing there on the ball for 5 or 10 seconds with nobody nailing. In the second half, at least, they were carrying the ball forward a bit and then committing to giving good, crisp passes. And that sets you up as a player. As a player, what you want, first and foremost, is a good, clean, crisp pass into your feet. Because it's actually easier to control the ball when there's pace on it. Not too much pace, obviously, but the right amount of pace. No, but you don't want a little dribbly one in, or you don't want a little, you know, a little wall pass. You get it back. You want a good, clean pass. We've seen a lot more of that in the second half, and that set the team up to move forward up the pitch, at pace, and not allowing Watford to get back on shape as quick as they were in the first half.
Yeah, it was allowing the players to get on the half turn, win the balls, and that pace as well. You seen then Diddy before he went off, and when Cassidy, when he came on Dewsbury Hall, receiving the ball on the half turn, in the first half. Everything was just a bounce pass, Vestergaard into Dewsbury Hall, back to Vestergaard. Seen Kelechi going all the way back down to do a bounce pass, just to try and get on the ball and try and make something happen. Where they get in the half turn, and that comes with communication as well on the pitch. If someone tells you to turn, you know that you're not going to be marked. So maybe a bit more better communication in the second half was hence why we got further forward a lot more quicker.
Yeah, can that come from the manager? Do you think Matt Elliott at half time has Enzo maybe seen that, addressed that, said do something slightly different in the second half?
You would imagine so. I wouldn't 100% guarantee it, because I'd love to know exactly what he does say to the players and what he wants from the players. Maybe he wants different things at different times within the game, but you know, a little bit more, I don't know, security, possibly in solidity in the first half, and as seems to be the case, you know, the tempo builds, doesn't it? And partly for the reasons that the boys have mentioned there, you know, the opposition get fatigued and tired of mind, but and spaces open up. But I mean, I think I've heard him say, he's mentioned in games gone by that people have commented on the fact that it's a little bit stayed at times, you know, and Hermansson's on the ball and for 10-15 seconds at a time. I've heard him respond with, I don't care how long he stays on the ball. It's until the time is right for him to play. So, you know, there's a lot of measure about the play, and there's a lot of, well, I mentioned in the commentary, the method in the calmness, not the madness. Waiting for the exact space. I mean, Holmes is on the ball at times. Never mind the centre halves, as Jerry mentioned. Like standing on it, and there's no movement. Very little movement as well in front. It's just a little sort of side shuffle, maybe open up half a yard and stuff. And then he pings one out long, diagonally, or over the top even for runs in behind. So yeah, there's a lot of detail, that probably goes over my head. And Jerry's and even Nuge, who's like almost crept into the modern era. but it's you know, it's end result, isn't it, and productivity, and more often than not, the end result is positive.
I think
it's a bit like Jerry on a night out on a Saturday. It's all about the end result.
I think the biggest thing we can say about the second half was the passing was quickened up, and then the gaps appeared more often, more regularly in that final third of the pitch, because the pace of the passing was sped up somewhat in the second.
Do you think he tells them that, Jerry, at half time? I mean,
yeah, he must have done.
You would think so today, wouldn't you?
He must have done. Yeah. He must have seen Watford getting back, loads of bodies, not a lot of space, and thinking we just need to get into those areas a little bit quicker where we can play that quick ball, or that ball we can get half turned, or even play, you know, a bounce pass stroke wall pass where you're playing it to get it straight back and then go forward. And we've seen a lot more one-touch football between Hamza, Ricardo in that second half. Even though they were just square balls, we've seen a bit more of that. Whereas in first half, we didn't really see that. You know, that to me, like the Chuckle Brothers basically. But then playing it round the corner, I'll play it to you play it back to me, and then my next pass is a forward pass.
You think, again, this is going heavy into the stats, that the progressive passes in the second half then will have been a lot higher than in the first?
Well, you tell us.
Well, I don't.
Well, we need you in for that, don't we? We need you in for that.
Yeah, well, it showed like straight away in the second half, I thought, because we created two chances really, really quickly through Mavididi and Dewsbury Hall hitting the post. Unlucky with his effort where he clipped his right foot as he shot with his left. You know, so they wanted to get the ball quicker and try and get the ball in the opposition box. That's when you're going to score goals, is getting the ball quicker, getting the ball into the box for your wingers and your strikers to get onto the ball and try and create chances and hit the target and score goals, and it happened very quickly in the second half.
Yeah, and you look at the chance, have you just mentioned Dewsbury Hall?
He kicked it against his foot, and
but they took a chance, the one where Dewsbury Hall swung, hit the post, it's gone out for, at least they took a chance playing that ball forward. It wasn't a perfect pass, but Dewsbury Hall's made it his ball. All right, it's come off the defender and into his path, but he's got himself in the position to try and make that ball his. It's come off for him, and he's got a shot off. Whereas I think sometimes everything's got to be precision, precise. You don't play that ball unless the gaps appear, it's into his feet, you know, and so on and so forth. That was just a little flick ball over the top. Dewsbury Hall made it his, gets a shot off. So there was more of that gambling football. And it's not a gamble, it's a percentage ball.
And that's actually where the second goal came from as well, Matt, didn't it? It was Cassidy, I think, with the flick on, Jamie Vardy gambling the other side of it, and obviously it all day long it's a penalty. Yeah,
it was a different sort of play for Leicester, because of the stage of the game, I suppose. So just going back real quickly to what we were saying there about Enzo Maresca telling his players, to play it quicker in the second half, etc. I think that's likely the case, but I'm also thinking, did he not tell them to do that all week? He doesn't do it all week, and then it doesn't necessarily happen in the first half. Is there a reason why that doesn't happen? Is it because he wants to sort of attain control first, and then put them to the sword second half? Is that a conscious ploy? I don't know, but
it wouldn't surprise me, Matt.
Yeah, perhaps we'll find out one day. We're not in the inner circle as such, but we can inquire with one or two questions.
You're not in the outer circle, Matt.
Yeah, I am tonight. Yeah, freezing cold out here. But oh, sorry, I'm not in the outer circle. I didn't say, yeah. Hey, and also I've got a question to ask you, Ted. You said it was circled by 3 people. I was like, that's a triangle tag, isn't it? But
well, yeah.
I got your gist. I got your point. Anyway, just nitpicking, mate. Just nitpicking.
Just get on with your job.
Anyway, second goal. Yeah, Cassidy came on. I thought he was a little bit off the pace, as he has been a few times, really, in possession, awareness in that midfield area. You've got to have peripheral vision. But where he was very useful was breaking up the opposition play. He nicked it with the sort of telescopic legs of his, didn't he? Pinched it a few times, got himself in positions where he's awkward for the opposition, got the little flick on, as you say, for Vardy to race through. He had an impact of a sort as well, but there's still room for improvement with him. But yeah, that substitution worked okay, and Yunus coming on, I was a little bit doubtful of that one at that time, but Leicester got through and ultimately prevailed, as we said.
Final point can go to you, Nuge, obviously. Another, two games, 2 defeats before this, where Leicester hadn't scored. It got to about 75 minutes, and maybe there were murmurs that history could repeat itself, but it came good in the end, and Leicester back to winning ways. 3 clear at the top, 10 clear of third. It's been a good afternoon. It's been a good weekend, actually, when you look at the other results too.
Yeah, massive weekend for Leicester. With other results going for them as well. The teams below had all dropping points, and Leicester winning, keeping a clean sheet. Vard's coming on as a sub, scoring 2 goals. Playing his boyhood club next week or Wednesday against Sheffield Wednesday. I'm sure he's going to start in that game, and just keep on going, keep the train going. Keep on picking 3 points up. You're the top of the league for a reason because they're the best team in the league, and we have to keep it going. These games come thick and fast, and more games you win, the more teams below will start thinking, oh, there's first place, going out the window. Everyone's fighting for second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Then just got to keep the momentum going. That's what it's all about.
That's why Nuge is a professional. A nice little segue into the game on Wednesday, of course, against Jamie Vardy's boyhood club, the team he grew up supporting, Sheffield Wednesday. The game is available for you to watch on Fox's Hub. It's a fixture where Leicester have good memories in, especially... just about 10 years ago when Nuge was on the pitch, and there were 2 fantastic goals from Riyad Mahrez and Anthony Knockaert.
Sweeping move from Leicester City. Spread over the top drawer from the little Frenchman. The champions elect back on track in some style.
Yeah, well, Jerry just questioning the goalkeeping there. Hopefully we see something similar on Wednesday. We heard in the commentary, champions-elect. Hopefully there's a repeat of that again this season. Now you can follow that game. You can watch that game wherever you are. The UK stream is available, so you can get a game pass. There's a QR code there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you scan that, it'll take you exactly where you need to be. And the game is available for £10, including all the build-up with us here on Fox's Hub. So well worth it, and hopefully seeing Leicester making it back-to-back victories. Thank you very much, everybody who has joined us and watched us this afternoon as Leicester have got back to winning ways this afternoon. Big thanks to our guests again today, to Matt Elliott on co-commentary, to Jerry and to Nuj in the studio with me, Dan Bates, today. Everybody have a fantastic weekend celebrating Leicester getting back to winning ways. They're 3 clear at the top and they're 10 clear of third place. Good night.